After watching 434 videos, many of you ask about the similarities and differences between machine elves we encounter in metaphysical states and physical aliens and UFOs that we see in our reality. I will tell you about everything I know because it seems that a lot of machine elf information is connected to extraterrestrial messages and their presence on Earth. Once I tell you what I know about aliens, I'll explain the difference between them and machine elves. It will be a lot of information to take in, and these are just the basics of what I know about aliens. And at the end, I'll explain how all of this is related to machine elves. I'm using this video to clarify the informational mess and misinformation purposely created around this subject, so it will be a small handbook on alien info. I've been researching all of this for most of my life. When I was 3 or 4, on one of our kindergarten trips, I saw a UFO hovering above my head. It looked like a silver metallic boat. A few years later, me and my dad saw another UFO through a telescope from our kitchen window. After these experiences, I started to read and watch as much material on UFOs and aliens as possible. Very early in my life, my dad introduced me to books by people like Erich von Däniken, and all of this started my 30-year journey of discovering the world of extraterrestrial knowledge. I want you to understand that I'm not a naive conspiracy theorist. My research methods are rationally structured, and I'm very skeptical about everything I learn. After decades of reading reports on alien contact, abductions, and telepathic communication, I created a compilation of logical information that resurfaces in all reports. What I'm going to tell you now is collectively repeated by many people independently of each other, and for that reason it seems to be legitimate. It will be based on reports from regular people, but also experts on this issue like Stephen Greer, Linda Howe, Bill Cooper, Bob Lazar, Alex Collier, and Stan Romanek. As you're listening to this, I want you to keep in mind that we're talking about very complex issues, and I want you to understand how difficult it is to create an accurate picture of this extraterrestrial situation. You can imagine how difficult it is for one person to comprehend all local issues on Earth, and then imagine trying to understand the conflict of interest in national politics, and then go further into continental agreements, and in the end, imagine the impossible task of trying to understand human conflict of interest and human politics on a global scale. That's already too much for one person to see and understand. But now try going further and imagine all the issues on intergalactic scale, and then imagine conflicts of interest between universes. What we're dealing with here is so big that it will be probably impossible for us to ever understand the nature of extraterrestrial presence and their intervention on Earth. Also, keep in mind that despite my best efforts to provide you with accurate information, a lot of it will be affected by intentional, decade-long misinformation tactics perpetrated by government and various three-letter agencies. They decided a long time ago that it's best to keep everyone in the dark and keep the knowledge to themselves by ridiculing the alien issue, creating a lot of contradicting information, and sometimes by simply allowing the information to be discredited by the public itself. It's an orchestrated, decades-long effort for anyone who mentions Little Green Man to be automatically ridiculed or treated as crazy. Keep an open mind about all of this and look up everything you hear from me if you're interested in getting to the sources. Normally I switch between phrases like machine elves, aliens, and entities, but for the purpose of this video, remember that when I use the word aliens, I mean physical aliens. Before I start, I want to let you know about a video on artificial intelligence I recently uploaded to my second YouTube channel at Peter Hedron. Link in the video description. I also want to ask you to support this channel financially if you find all of this information useful. Joining Patreon or Subscribestar is very easy, and you can also make a donation through PayPal. No PayPal account is necessary for that. You can also use methods like bank transfer and cryptocurrencies. All links in the video description. Thank you for your support. It's really important to me. I'll start by saying that historically we've had reports of alien contact for thousands of years. This is not new, and we've had paintings, literature, and archaeological artifacts showing aliens, UFOs, and their technology. It actually used to be common knowledge up until 1940s when the embargo on extraterrestrial knowledge and disinformation campaign started. From my research, I would say about 90% of all reports are real. The fake ones are usually very easy to see because they stick out with abstract elements of this story that don't align with what everybody else reports. We're actually aliens here ourselves. We were created by an alien race only a few thousand years ago, and we're the 7th generation of earthly humans. Our original DNA is very ancient, and it comes from a long line of humanoids that is apparently millions of years old. More or less, 14 races permanently live on Earth. 2 to 3 of them are hostile to us, and we are one of the last ones who came here. Some races have been here for a very long time and it's actually their planet, not ours. We're guests. Some of these races are in the state of war and sooner or later humans will have to pick a side. Other races come here for various reasons, but it's mainly minerals, water, hydrogen to be specific, and human tissue and human bodies. They've been visiting Earth for millennia and about 80 years ago the government got in contact with them and made a deal. In exchange for allowing occasional human abductions, we were given alien technology. Practical applications of optic fiber, Teflon, laser, microchip, Kevlar, titanium all appeared simultaneously and are not human inventions. Many government officials met with aliens and some of them were silenced when they wanted to inform the public about the agreement. Together with US military, aliens built numerous underground bases where they were allowed to create their labs and research facilities. And in this case, we're actually talking about only one alien race, the Greys, which is probably the most popular one in our culture. It's the one with tiny, skinny bodies, big black eyes, and big heads. They settled here because they wanted to study humans and they needed our DNA material to recreate their own race. There's only a few of them left, and they're forced to create soulless, bionic robot copies of themselves as they lost the ability to reproduce. They're almost finished with creating a new hybrid race of Greys and humans, but they have a big problem because the new race feels human and they despise the Greys. It is believed that there is going to be a rebellion of the hybrid race in the near future against their creators. What you need to understand is that this race of Greys deceived and took over many worlds before ours. As soon as humans made a deal with them, it turned out that Greys not only started abducting way more humans than it was agreed, but also they set up alien hubs for other races to come to Earth. I'm going to spare you the details for what and what it is that Greys are actually doing here. I can only say that everything we do to animals is done to us, and it's much worse. At the end of 1970s, the US Army was so disgusted with what they're doing here that they decided to attack the Greys and free all abducted humans. But unfortunately, Greys are much superior to us technologically and humans were quickly driven out of the bases, losing the war. Although other alien races had been warning us, humans did not listen to them and were easily tricked into a deal that became a huge problem to us. Many of the races who come to visit us are actually refugees from their own fallen worlds, taken over by those big-headed invaders, and they're waging an interdimensional guerrilla war against them. We have some allies among them, and the governments are prepared for war, which will have to happen one day. For now, we lost access to the bases, we have no idea what goes on in them, and we are defenseless against the enemy. Remember about this next time you see a cute picture of a Grey on Instagram. They're monsters, probably. The other race that is very popular in our culture are reptilians. The best source of information about them is a document called Lacerta Files, which is a transcript of an interview with one of the researchers of the reptilian race. Because it connects with a lot of information I know about from other sources, I consider it to be real. Reptilians are one of the original races who lived on the surface of the Earth before human arrival, and now we drove them down underground, where they have huge cities with artificial sun-like light sources. They are rather neutral to us, but there are recorded reports of wars and battles in human history with them, and they don't really have a positive attitude towards humans anymore because of them being demonized throughout our history. There is no real contact between our races as far as I know. They occasionally come up to the surface and there are a lot of hidden entrances to their world on Earth, but if you ever find one, it's very unlikely you will survive this discovery. They're in possession of a crystal holographic storage disk that contains all of the recorded history of this world, and they actually know about us more than we know about ourselves. Although people believe that they can shapeshift, they actually do it through controlling telepathically a mechanism in our brains that changes our perception of reality. Very often we see them as humans because that's what they want us to see. Very often the reports of dwarves, fairies and elves are also them. The same perception-changing technology is used by UFOs and all types of alien vehicles. The truth is that there's a cosmic highway above your head, and if you want to see it yourself, get an infrared camera and point it in the sky for 2 days recording everything. You'll see what's happening up there. UFOs also use cloaking technology, making them technically invisible, or sometimes they hide behind disc-shaped clouds. It's true that human military is in possession of several UFOs. We know of at least 11 of them. Some crashed by themselves, some of them were shot down by the army. They travel through interdimensional portals and they use a method of bending time and space continuum to get from A to B. Humans have reverse engineered some of their technology and built their own aircraft. Many of the UFO sightings are actually of human technology, but you will distinguish between human UFOs and alien UFOs by the amount of parts that the vehicle is built from. Alien UFOs are solid objects with no parts. Human aircraft are made of many different layers of materials and parts like our airplanes. You can distinguish between UFO operating races by looking at the shape of the vehicle. Saucer-shaped UFOs are the Greys, while giant cigar-shaped spacecraft with 5 lights or sphere-shaped UFOs belong to Reptilians. Alien races have been disabling human nuclear missiles for a long time, and they're sometimes interfering in our technology because apparently we don't realize that nuclear explosions affect other dimensions that occupy the same time and space. It is very difficult to explain, but apparently different frequency realms are happening here at the same time as ours. It is believed that some alien races infiltrated human governments, and some of them can shapeshift, pretending to be humans. It is believed that alien agenda might be used one day by the current globalist power, and you're already being prepared for it by so-called leaks in the mainstream media. Many alien races give us warnings about our future, saying that we don't have much time left, and as you remember, it is very similar to the message I received from machine elves. They give us a lot of signs and messages, and things like crop circles are in reality instructions and schematics of alien engines and their technology. There is an intergalactic council of alien races that doesn't want us to be a part of it for now. They consider us still too primitive, too hostile, and too aggressive. Other races are willing to help us, but due to the agreement of not interfering in the destiny of other races, they're waiting for us to collectively ask them for help. Apparently, we're a threat to ourselves. We allow a few humans to control whole populations, and once we free ourselves from them and gain access to alternative energy sources, other races will come to our rescue, but for now, they cannot break the rule of violating free will of another species. Now let's talk about how the world of machine elves comes into this picture. From everything I know, it seems the spiritual machine elf dimensions are a different world to the physical dimension we live in, and aliens are also a part of this physical dimension. According to machine elves, this dimension is a simulation, and aliens are probably also a part of this simulation. But there seems to be a frequently reported association between altered states of consciousness and alien appearance. For example, people very often see UFOs hovering over their houses after taking mushrooms. From what I know, aliens through the use of technology want to connect to the same spiritual world we can so easily access on mind-altering substances. One of the main reasons why they abduct us and do research on our bodies is that they're very interested in our metaphysical abilities. They have the technology required to extract and transfer the soul out of a human body, but the effect is not permanent and causing drastic personality disturbance. According to them, human race is extremely unique, like no other race in the universe. We're a one-of-a-kind combination of mind and body, and the things we try to learn about ourselves, aliens are also very interested in. Apparently our DNA code is a mixture of more than 20 extraterrestrial races, and it seems we're the only race like this in the universe. Also, because we're so uniquely coupled with spirit, we are considered royalty among other races. This further validates our supernatural experiences, and it means that the supernatural worlds we travel to are not a product of our imagination, and these states must be very important to our existence if they are of interest to beings highly advanced technologically. Like me, many people got messages saying that we're an aggressive, immature race, but our potential is to become a part of something divine, something very important that not only is not known to us, but also to other entities. It seems we are supposed to become something important and no one knows what. We are the only ones who can find out, and other races are observing with interest what we will do with this gift. So I want you to remember that according to many alien messages, both from the physical and metaphysical world, it seems that we are not some random race that is a result of an impossible number of improbable mutations. There is something very special about you and me, and we're supposed to find out what it is, but we can only achieve it by doing this spiritual work, by raising our vibrational frequency, and by exploring the power of love. Only then will we be able to influence others, and will we gain access to other realities and other races' wisdom. It is important that you like and share this video with others. We need to educate as many people as possible. It is also crucial that you support 434 so that we can collectively speed up the human awakening process. Thank you for watching. Remember about b434.com. Join my second YouTube channel. Visit the websites of the artist and the music producer I used in this video. Join other 434 social media. There is YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, BitChute, and VK. And if you want to talk to others, go to Reddit, Telegram, or Discord. All links in the video description.